Alright, hi there. Gotcha with that title, sort of. I did fully intend for you to click this video because of that reason. You do. It's true. You have to be bad to be good. And I'm just gonna spend this video talking about it. And I think and speak better when I'm like doing something instead of being AFK. I know it sounds really weird, but it helps my thoughts come out. So I'm just gonna like do Vardorvis in the back. And if I die, good. It's gonna prove my point. And if I don't, cool. I should be able to think properly. But I think a Vard trip should suffice for the points that I want to get across here. So I'm gonna just like prime this by saying you have to be bad to be good. And I know it's like counterintuitive and it doesn't really make any sense, but nobody started good, you know? Like we all started from zero. We all started off Tutorial Island. We all did that. You have to start somewhere. You can't just expect to be good right out of the gate because that's ridiculous. Nobody was. You have to put in a little bit of effort if you want to be able to wear, you know, the things that I'm wearing on my helmet and chest and legs right now. You do. And it's not news to anybody that you have to be a little bit good, but I don't think you have to be like incredible to get what I'm wearing. And I always see a lot of sentiment with people thinking that you have to be like some god gamer to achieve these things, and it's just not true. You can really do anything you want within reason. My whole spiel here is that you just have to just do stuff, you know? Get in there and do stuff. Get in there and fail. And one of my little notes over here says, I'm saying you just have to start somewhere. You have to take risks, and you're gonna lose, and it's gonna feel bad. And you're gonna want to quit sometimes. I will let you know that I wanted to do it many times going for Blorba and Radiant. I was like, you know I can do it, and I still almost don't want to. And that was a weird feeling for me, because I enjoy this game. And when you don't enjoy it, like, I know some people say, well, yeah, I could, but I don't have the time. Or, yeah, I could, but, yeah, I could, but... And they make poor excuses. Just like I was trying to. When I knew I could get Blorba and Radiant, I said, well, yeah, I can, but do I want to? You know, is this worth my time? And I think that is always a subjective thing. Like, do I want to get good at RuneScape? That's up to you. There's no actual reward for getting good at this game, in the slightest. It's just, it's vanity. It feels nice to accomplish something, but it isn't inherently required that you do anything, you know? You can just be a skiller. You can just be a mercher, or whatever you want to do in this game. There is no rule that says you have to do any of these hard PvM challenges. There's no rule that says, you know, if you don't have an Infernal Cape, you're bad. If you don't have Blorba, you're bad. If you don't have Radiant, you're bad. Like, none of this stuff matters. It's all personal growth. It's what you want to do with your time in the game. And to some people, it just isn't worth it, and that's fine. But I am aiming this video at the people that want to get better and feel like they can't. It's this whole battle of, I don't know if it's confidence, I don't know if it's willpower, I don't know if it's bravery or whatever you want to call it, but you have this little thing on your shoulder that's like, you're not good enough, you can't do it. You look at something, like if you went and watched my Blorva or Radiant videos, you watch it and you're like, oh, there's no way, I could just never do that. I want to inform you that I had the exact same thought not 2 years ago when I was watching people do it, and I was still sitting at like, you know, 70 stats, like, oh man, dude, I don't even know if I can get an Infernal Cape. I did my Jad pretty late into my account. I'm not sure if I can do these things. But the reality of it is that I have come to learn, now that I've done all of these things, sort of twofold. The first being, this game is not as hard as you think it is. I think a lot of us have this, like, mental image of Port Khazard and New Type and Saxorpillar and all these, like, goated PVMers that do these insane challenges that none of us would ever think about doing. And we think that that's, like, the standard. But it isn't. That's completely the outlier, right? None of us are ever going to do those things. I have no desire to do what those guys do. But I did have a desire to do the things that I wanted to do, which was just a quick Radiant Blorba grind. I just walked back into that. because you have to lose. Sometimes you're just gonna lose. It is what it is. It's further proving my point that you can't. Nobody's perfect. Even all those guys that I just named, they have died. I promise you, they have died. Just like you were going to die, just like you are going to lose. We all lose. It's part of the game, and you have to get used to it. But you can't lose if you don't try. And I think a lot of people get comfortable knowing that fact. It's like, well, if I don't go do these things, if I don't try, if I don't fail, then I don't get to, you know, I don't have to go through that experience of losing 500k at Death Coffer. You know, I don't have the capital to learn. Some people will say that too, but I think you do. The Inferno, in the grand scheme of things, for an example, is a very cheap endeavor. It's really not that much money. Oh, that's my alt. Don't worry about that. I think Inferno might have cost me, in my like 26, 27 attempts, who cares? That's another note I'll get to. Nobody fucking cares how many attempts something takes you, except you, so don't care about it. But I think in the grand scheme of things, it might have cost me, I don't know, 20 mil tops? Absolute maximum 20 mil. Probably not even, dude. No way it cost me 20 mil, because all you really have to buy are Dragon Darts, Zulrah Scales, maybe some spare Crystal Shards, and then your potions, and like a Barrage Casts. So like maybe 20 mil, you know, hard maybe, dude. It really wasn't that expensive. And let me tell you, when I went into the Inferno, I had 0 experience. 0. I think I had killed Vardorvis once. I think I did maybe 30 TOAs. No chambers, no Tob, nothing. I was just like, you know, I have full crystal and a Bofin in my bank, and I want to try. I just wanted to try. I wanted to see. And let me tell you, it's completely free to just go walk up into Inferno and try. You don't have to necessarily get far, but it's free. It's very cheap to just go try. If that is your standard for like good, then you can just go try. You don't have to delay it. You don't have to think about it. If you have Crystal and Bofa, you can just go try. Also, I was supposed to walk there. But again, you have to lose, you know what I mean? You have to lose. Nobody is perfect. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to die, but you're going to learn. As long as you learn. I didn't learn. I didn't move. You just have to learn, dude. It really is it all. That's what it comes to be. You just have to be willing to lose and willing to learn. And one of the ways you can do that is to record your gameplay like I'm doing right now. I can tell you where I mess up. I know exactly where I mess up. And sometimes I think it's the game. I'm like, dude, I lagged. And then I go back and look and it's like, well, no. Game didn't lag. You just clicked like literally 0.1 seconds too late. You were on the next tick instead of the tick you needed to be on. And that can be a little bit frustrating to some people. And I get that it's frustrating. And I know it's hard to, you know, get over that, because we as people are so conditioned to avoid the things that make us lose in life. But that's also a harsh reality, right? Like, you're going to lose in life too. You're going to lose in the game. It is what it is. It's completely fine. As long as you learn from the experience, you didn't really lose, in my opinion. Like, yeah, you lost some money, but you gained insight. You gained more than you lost in that moment, because what you lost was irrelevant. None of this actually matters, right? This doesn't matter. You gained the knowledge, you gained the experience, so you can go back and do it better the next time. This is just vanity. This doesn't actually matter. This doesn't do anything, right? But I learned, I gained the experience, and I was better because of it. So, all that sort of anecdotal to the side, we'll move that aside. You are more capable than you think. And I'm not just saying that to say that. I'm saying it because I wish somebody would have told me that as well. But there don't seem to be a lot of content creators that sort of live by that notion or make that notion something that is apparent. I think a lot of titles of YouTube videos have to be like clickbaity in the sense that like, oh, this is hard, so you need to watch this so you know how to do it because it's hard, right? And it is. I'm not going to underplay how difficult, you know, Inferno and Coliseum and Radiant and Blorva and all these things are. But It's blown like a little out of proportion. A little. Now that I've experienced all of it. I promise you, it will not be the hardest thing you've ever done. Infernal Cave, Coliseum, if you haven't even stepped into those yet, they will not be the hardest thing you do. Because they're not that bad. And I know a lot of people will downplay their skill, or they'll say, oh, I've died 300 times, or whatever. And like, sure, that's fine. You know? You're still playing, right? You're still like, your character is still here. You can still play the game. Like, yes, you died, yes, you lost, but so did I, many, many times. So did everyone else, many, many times. I remember a specific time I was on No Monkey's stream, and someone came into his chat, like, saying he had all this talent. He was, like, naturally talented or whatever. And he got mad. Not like, you know, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna ban you mad, but he got mad in the sense that someone discounted the journey that he went on. And then he went on to explain that he died to Vorkath hundreds of times before he figured it out. And I think that's a really humbling thing to think about. If someone like No Monkey is a very talented PVMer to you, which he is, knowing that he died to Vorkath hundreds of times should be a little eye-opening to you if you're like hesitant about trying things, because all it is effort and time. That's all it is. And I know a lot of you have jobs, families, kids, the whole nine. Me too. You can find time. You really can. If you wanted these things, you would put forth the effort to find time to do them, right? I think Inferno overall took me about a month because I would do one attempt a day. That was my limit. I was like, you know, I will set aside a couple of hours to try. And if the attempt goes poorly, well, it is what it is. Let me review why I died, and then I'll get back to it tomorrow. I'll watch another guide here or there while I'm doing something on the side, or whatever, right? Take in the knowledge that you can take in when you can take it in. Like, if you're just chilling at work, you can just, like, watch an Inferno guide. If that's the thing that you're trying to get, you can just, like, watch an Inferno guide at work. Like, sure, you can't play the game, but you can still put forth an effort to get better at the thing that you want to get better at when you can play the game. You can try and execute these things that you see other people doing. And there's no shame in that. There's absolutely no shame in that. I don't know why people are like, oh, I need to do this guide list. Oh, I need to do this blind. Oh, I need to do this. No, nobody cares. Nobody cares. That's a point I really want to drive home. Nobody cares. Nobody. Nobody except you. You're the only one that cares. And you shouldn't. Because this is just a game. You know? Nobody cares. You don't need to care how many times you die. You don't need to care how many attempts it took. You don't need to care how much money you have. You don't need to care where your progress is. All that matters is your enjoyment of the activity that you are doing, because it is your time on the game. It is your experience with the game. It's your adventure. Choose your own adventure. You know what I mean? Like, you do not need to put so much weight on something that doesn't matter that much. Like, yes, you can care about it, and yes, it matters to you in that sense, but it doesn't need to be this, like, insurmountable wall that you think you can't get over because you care so much. You care so much, and it's hindering your process, your progress, and your process, because that's getting in the way, and it doesn't need to be. Just, like, let go of a little bit of that ego, and just accept that it's totally fine to fail. No one cares. No one is watching your gameplay. And if they do care, fuck them. You know? They're weird. Why do they care about what's going on your account? It doesn't make any sense. So just do you. Learn how you want to learn, and take your time. There's no reason to rush things. There's no reason to stick to one piece of content until you do it. You don't have to do that to yourself. In fact, you shouldn't do that to yourself. Because that's not how we learn. That's not how we work. That's not how we were wired. We need sleep. We need rest for these things to get into muscle memory, you know? When you rode a bike for the first time, like, yeah, you did it, but you didn't do it well. But you remembered how to do it, and you kept getting better at it every time you did it. What the fuck am I doing? Hello? My brain malfunctioned. You see? But you know what I do? I recognize when my brain is malfunctioning. And it's fine. You just correct the error and you move on. You ignore it. I'll forget about it tomorrow. I'll forget about it in 10 minutes when I'm done recording this. Like, mistakes don't matter. They matter in the moment, but in the long term, As long as you learn from them, they don't really matter. You can always fix them. In this game, that's the one cool thing. You can fix mistakes. Not so lucky in real life. You can't fix those mistakes most of the time. Anyway, next thing I would like to speak on. Effort is rewarding. This is going to be like the takeaway section, because I don't want to sit here and just like preach to you like, oh dude, the game is so easy, you can do it whenever you want, it's not that big of a deal, blah 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 blah. Like, it is. To some people, not everyone has the same dexterity, I would say. Like the thing that I'm doing right now at Vardorvis, going back and forth between, not everybody does this at Vardorvis. Some people will just sit here, and some people can't axe skip. And I get it. But that just becomes that's just a lack of understanding, because the motion that I'm doing to axe skip is I see the axe. If you can't do this, there is probably some ulterior exterior thing that you have, some disability or something. I'm not trying to be like patronizing here, but when I see the axe come up, I just have my mouse hovered here and I click. You know, there's nothing insane that I'm doing. Sometimes, if there's an axe here, here, and one going like here, so like here, 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 I'm gonna have to go, wait, watch it, hold on. Oh my god, how did he do it? Holy shit, he's gaming. You know what I mean? This game is very simple, but you are going to make it more difficult than it is, because you think it's more difficult than it is. And I am guilty of doing that. I fully thought that Inferno was going to be the hardest shit I've ever done in my life. It's not. It just isn't. It's not that difficult. You learn how to one-tick alternate, you basically can get to Zuck. It's really not that big of a deal. Triple Jads. Oh no, Triple Jads, dude. Triple Jads? Are you kidding me? That's impossible. You want to know what Triple Jads is? I'm going to tell you, this is what it is if they were to alternate every single time they attacked. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. If they were to alternate every single time, that's all it is. That's it. You just have to change your prayer every 3 ticks. That's it. It's really not that bad. I don't even know if it's 3 ticks. It might be 4 ticks, bro. I don't know. I think it's 3. I'm like 99% sure it's 3. I don't fucking know. It might be 4. If it's 4, more power to you. It's definitely not 2. I'm like 99% sure it's 3. But you see what I mean? Like, it's not... You make the monster under your bed. You know what I mean? Don't make the monster under your bed. Don't think that these things are so impossible because you've never done them before. They're gonna feel impossible because you've never done them before. But you never done it before. You can't expect to be perfect. You're gonna go in there, you're gonna fuck up, and you're gonna be like, why did I fuck up? And then you're gonna look and you're gonna be like, oh, that's what I did. And then you go, don't do that the next time. You know? You can really break these things down to simple science. And I think we forget to do that, and we don't give ourselves enough credit as just standard human beings. You have to know that this game is accessible to most people. There's an active player that his hands don't work, and he plays the game. There is a player that is a literal heart surgeon named Cardiac, and he's very, very good at this game. And he finds time. In his open heart surgery schedule, he finds time to play this game. Shout out Cardiac. Shout out My Hands Don't Work. But you can do this. You can do whatever you want. I'm not trying to be like a fucking corny, you know, whatever life coach type guy, but I just really want you guys to give yourself more credit, you know? You're allowed to, 1, be proud of yourself, and 2, have a little bit of confidence, have a little bit of faith that, like, you're capable. You are a capable human being. I know you are. You've put it in your mind that you aren't, and it's stuck. Somewhere along the line it's stuck, but you're capable. I'm not trying to therapize you over here. I just really want you guys to love the game that I love, and just enjoy it to a level that you didn't think was possible, because I didn't think I would make it to this level. And I know there's a lot of you who are just like afraid to take that jump. You're like, oh, it's going to cost me money, or oh, it's going to cost me a lot of time, or oh, if I do this, I want to dedicate to the grind until it's over, or, you know, whatever it is. And just want to get you over that wall. You're just mental blocking yourself. There's no reason to mental block yourself in this game. And a lot of this game is mental block. A lot of this game is, we see these YouTube thumbnails and these claims, and these Reddit posts where it's like, oh my god, I got my first Infernal Cape. It took me 400 attempts. Or, oh my god, I finally got my first Fire Cape even after 17 years of playing the game. I never thought it possible, but they tried, and then it was possible. Do you see what I'm getting at? You think these things are impossible, and then you go try it, and you're like, wait a minute. If I can make it to wave 48 in the Inferno, I could probably go all the way. I'm understanding something. If I've made it to wave 48 in the Inferno, I'm understanding something, right? Something is clicking where I could go all the way. If I made it to wave 55 in the Inferno, now I'm really understanding something. If I made it to triple Jads, I basically have the cape. You know? It's these little stepping stones that you need to give to yourself. And if you need stepping stones, I have a guide for you. I'll put it down in the description. It's called How to Get Good at RuneScape, using RuneScape to do it. And I sort of just explain how the game works in pretty simple terms, and I give you a little bossing ladder that you can go through and just get better at the game, get good at the game. I'm sitting here making mistakes at Vardorvis, but I don't care, you know? And if somebody was watching my gameplay and they're like, wow, you're so bad at Vardorvis, I'd be like, yeah, you're pretty fucking true, dude. You want to see how much KC I have in this boss? 109. I have Awakened? What? I have Radiant Oathblade and I have Blood Torva and I have 109 Vardorvis KC. That's a little abnormal, I'm not going to lie. But I didn't care about doing base Vardorvis, right? That's what RuneScape is all about. You get to pick what you want to be good at and what you want to get better at. Vardorvis was not one of those things for me. I didn't really give a shit. But I did want to get Blorva. So guess what? I did. And I would love to put a compilation of all my deaths and all my fuck-ups and all these things I did wrong just to get to this point. I wish I could do that for you. If you want, you can go watch my Blood Torva video. You can go watch my Radiant Oathblade video, and you can see my process. I get frustrated. I get tilted. I get down on myself. I do all those things. And then I realize that I did it, and I'm like, oh, that's why I'm losing. Why don't I shift my perspective? Why don't I actually get good? Why don't I kick my ass into gear and just play the game? Play the game, you know? That's what we're here for. We're here to play the game. Anyway, I hope at least like one of you, that's all I want. That's all I want is for one of you watching this video, one of the like 50 people that are going to click on this video, one of you, I just want to put the inspiration that you need, put that little kick in your pants that you need to just do it, man. You 100% you can do it. You just think you can't, but I know you can. I am positive you can do it. Also, don't pay for your capes. That's just super lame. Don't rob yourself of that joy. I swear to God. Also, this is going to be a really quick side note before I wrap this up. Don't use simulators, bro. I'm so anti-simulator, but not because I don't want you to learn. It's because I don't want you to, like, think you need it. And then when you actually get your cape, you're going to be like, oh, that was so much less satisfying because I did it on the simulator 3 times. Don't rob yourself, bro. Whoa, where am I? Go back. Oh no, I clicked Vard, bro. It's so painful. Anyway. Double E. Don't rob yourself of the joy of getting your first cape by using, like, spamming a simulator. I promise you, you do not need to do that. Like, if you can get a kill on the simulator, you would have gotten it IRL. You know what I mean? You would have gotten that kill IRL. You just robbed yourself of the kill IRL because you did it on the sim instead of IRL. You should have done it IRL, bro. Always do it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Live like that guy. Not really. That guy's probably a terrible person, but... Anyway. As I close out this video of clicking Vardorvis and failing to click Vardorvis sometimes, effort is rewarding, and you're gonna surprise yourself if you decide to take the jump. And you should. This game is really, really, really fun when you take the jump. Take that leap to go one step further than you're comfortable going. I promise you it's so much better. I promise you it's so much better. I was so comfortable doing what I was doing, and the moment I stepped out of that comfort zone, I was like, oh wow, I'm having a lot of fun. Did it come with frustrations? Absolutely it came with frustrations. Do I regret doing it? Absolutely not. Would I do it again? 100,000,000% I would do it again. And I would probably do it again in the same exact way. I wouldn't change anything. I think the way I went about it was pretty good. I watched guides, and I tried, and I lost a lot of money, but I kept going because I was subconsciously having a lot of fun losing. And I think you need to turn that connotation on its head. A lot of us view losing as a negative thing, but in this game, it's super awesome. And I know maybe that's masochistic. Maybe I'm one of the weirdos. Maybe I do have the condition, right? But it is really, really fun to lose because then you know you can improve. The things that aren't fun are like Kraken, you know? You just sit there and you do nothing. That's not entertaining to me. What's entertaining is when I get to learn, when I get to challenge myself, and when I get to feel the feeling of victory. And that this game does that way better than any other game I've ever played. I'm not kidding. I've been near GM in League, didn't give a shit. Diamond in Apex, don't give a shit. Diamond in Overwatch, almost GM in Overwatch, don't give a shit. None of those games are satisfying in the way that this one is, because this one is me, bro. This is all me. It's all you. You can do it. I did it. I know you can do it. And it's so satisfying. Losing is good. Get that into your head. Be willing to fail. Take your time. You're allowed to take your time. Nobody, listen to me. I'm fully zoomed into my face. I can't get any more zoomed into my... Look, I'm side-eyeing you, bro. Nobody cares how long it takes you to do anything in this game. Nobody cares. If you walked up and told me it took you 400,000 attempts to get your Infernal Cape, I would shake your fucking hand and say, good shit, you're a legend. Because if you stayed in there for that long and still got your cape yourself, you deserve it and you're more impressive than the people that did it in 20 attempts. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. That's so much more impressive to me that it took you 400,000 attempts and you still, full mic peak, you stayed in that bitch. You said, I'm not losing. And that's so cool, bro. The more attempts it takes you, the more respect I have for you, straight up. I have no respect for myself. It took me like 27. I'm a fucking fraud. I'm a frog. I'm literally a frog. If it takes you more attempts, that is inspiring. Because you stayed in that bitch. You did not back down, and that's sick. And that's what this game can do for you. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling, bro. I know I'm just nerding out over here, and I know nobody's going to really click this, but I don't really care. I just wanted to get it out in the air, man. I see so many people just downplaying themselves for no reason. Wear that shit, bro. Wear it. You have to be bad to be good. Start bad. That is good. If you start bad, you will be good. Okay? It's inevitable. As long as you keep trying, as long as you keep failing, you will be good. Okay? That's how it goes. Anyway, my name is Gis. If you want any guides, I have guides on how to get started at every boss in this fucking game that you need to get started at. In budget setups, usually less than like 10 mil, sometimes less than a mil. Like really, really cheap stuff. And yeah. Anyway, see ya. Mwah.